We all love the Royal Rumble. Well, not that one guy, but he doesn't like anything. He will be on Twitter right now listing every single thing he hates. One of the reasons WWE's second biggest pay-per-view of the year is so popular, though, is because there's a ton of stats and accolades you can discuss. Some of these have been designed just to be smashed too, but as for the rest, well, I'm Simon from What Culture. Remember to tell your loved ones they're in your hearts and subscribe. And this is 10 WWE Royal Rumble records that will never be broken. Number 10, the co-winners. Given that the whole idea of the Rumble is one person wins, when Bret Hart and Lex Luger drew in 1994, a lot of eyebrows were raised. It was shocking, as the whole point is the victor heads to the main event of WrestleMania, so what the flub happens now? And this was entirely planned because WWE decided to do something different, and fair play to these guys, they couldn't have executed it any better. It did get weird when we got to the show of shows because a coin flip determined who would fight first for the title and who would go second. And don't bring up the 2005 Rumble when John Cena and Batista did the same. That was not meant to happen. It was a mistake. So while WWE could always attempt to do this twice, you'd have to figure they won't, mostly due to what has happened in the present future. Smartphones would be filming every moment of any such fall, with social media ready to call foul if they had any evidence the wrestler actually hit the floor first. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but you know it's true. Number 9, Rumble appearances. Kane holds this record because he has been in 20. And as of me saying these words, he's not officially retired either. Every chance he adds to this. The reason it seems so unlikely it will be beaten, though, is because in January 2022, when I am speaking to you, Dolph Ziggler is in second with 14th place, with Randy Orton, The Miz and Kofi Kingston joint next with 13. So there is quite the gap. Ziggles could of course keep going for another 6 years as he hopes the Big Red Machine doesn't come back, but really this ties into the approach of modern wrestling. Can you really see any of the young pups on the roster right now still being on the books come 2042? I can't, although it would be very nice. Number 8, total eliminations. This also ties into number 9 for the same reasons and the fact that yes, Kane returns. If you can believe it, he has a total of 46 eliminations. Crazy. This is mostly down to the fact he's had so many opportunities to do so, and in 2001 he set a one-night record when he threw out 11 people. That stood for 13 years too, before naturally Roman Reigns beat it and then it got beaten again. And behind Kane is his fake brother The Undertaker with 44. Shawn Michaels comes next with 41 and Steve Austin with 36. But given they're retired so completely out, and also the fact that Braun Strowman is next with 35 and he's not even employed by WWE at the moment, this one is going to be tricky. It's Roman who is an active WWE superstar that may be in the mix, as he has 32 eliminations, but our tribal chief may never be in a Rumble again when you remember how much WWE enjoys having him as the champion. Number 7, single Rumble elimination. So as just talked about, surprisingly Roman Reigns doesn't hold this one anymore. He did for a little while, but there's two men that outdid him: Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. The Beast was able to hurl 13 people over the top in that awesome 2020 Rumble, and the Monster Among Men did the same thing 2 years earlier during the greatest Royal Rumble. That one does have to come with an asterisk, as there was 50 entrants. It just meant there was more bodies that needed to be destroyed. The major difference between the two is that Braun won his match, whereas Lesnar fell foul courtesy of Drew McIntyre, and I feel this record is secured because you'd have to book someone to get rid of 14 wrestlers, which is basically half the field. That would be quite the performance, and if we didn't give that to Brock, who, let's face it, gets everything, would we really do it for anybody else? I say doubtful. Number 6, the shortest time in the Rumble. Santino Marella holds this at 1.9 seconds during the 2009 Rumble, and this comes down to time and physics. I mean, is it even possible for someone to enter and be eliminated quicker than this? I don't think it is. It has been broken over the years, as the Warlord held it for a while at 2 seconds during the 1989 event, but Santino was able to cut it shorter when he quite literally entered and then de-entered courtesy of Kane. There he is again. So the issue is, if WWE tried to do it, you'd have to be so fast you may not actually even achieve it. It would have to look so convoluted too, as everyone got into place, and furthermore, would anybody do this as well as Santino? No, they would not. Number 5, the runner-up. We all remember this. this. As WWE basically fought with the fans over what to do with Roman Reigns, they ummed and ahmed whether or not the big dog should win the Rumble, and ultimately went with no, fearing a backlash. The result of this is that Roman is the most common runner-up, as he finished second in 2014, 2017, 2018, and 2020. During those, he lost to the likes of Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, Batista, and Drew McIntyre, and as another stat, Reigns has been in the final four of every single Rumble he's competed in. Just wow. Orton himself follows, as he has done the same twice in 2006 and 2021, and unless we do get another head of a table, this won't happen. It's pretty rare as it is. Number 4, women in the men's Rumble. Only 4 women have ever competed in the men's Rumble, but only one of them has entered twice. We are, of course, talking about China. Beth Phoenix, Karma, and Nia Jax are the other entrants, and the kicker here is that we have a female over-the-top match now, so the chances of someone doing this more than once are next to none. For example, even if Nia returned to WWE, it wouldn't be as fun because we've already done it. So while I'm sure other women will get this shot on the other side, it seems silly to do it multiple times with the same person. So at best, I suppose Jax could make a comeback as a surprise, but even then she would only tie with the 9th wonder of the world, meaning this record would stay intact. And even if it somehow was, nobody will surpass China, as she did this during an era where the women performers got next to nothing in terms of real matches. It was and still is quite the feat. Number 3, competing multiple times in the same damn Royal Rumble. This one seems safe too, because who else has 3 concurrent gimmicks to make this work? It was Mick Foley who pulled it off in 1998 when he did indeed enter as Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack, and I tell ya, it was quite the novelty. He also didn't win the thing, so he holds the record for being the only person to ever been thrown out that amount in one evening, but you tell me, who in the hell beats this? I suppose The Undertaker or Kane could, as they've had different personalities over the years, but you ain't gonna do that now, and whereas a Finn Balor and Demon appearance would be cool, WWE isn't gonna do it. They clearly don't get it at all. So unless someone is going to be given the same creative freedom as Mick was during the Attitude Era, this one is done. And I kind of like that too. Nobody would do it better than Foley anyway. Number 2, the longest time in the Rumble. Daniel Bryan is the holder of this at a ridiculous 1 hour and 16 minutes during the already mentioned Greatest Royal Rumble. Only 7 other wrestlers have gone over an hour, but it's the stats between position 1 and position 2 that seems to protect this one. It is a whopping 13 minutes and 53 seconds. This is due to the fact Bryan was booked in the Iron Man spot during the 50-man spectacle, which once again just allowed him to have more time to rack up the numbers. So I don't want to be that guy, but I feel quite confident about this one. Number 1, eliminations in a row. We have already talked about how Brock Lesnar threw out 13 people to match one record, but here's the other twist. He did that straight. That's right. 13 men came running to the ring. On each occasion, it was Lesnar saying goodbye to them, and it wasn't until Ricochet entered at 15 and McIntyre at 16 until it stopped. Then Drew threw him out of there and we were done. No one is even near Brock either. Hulk Hogan comes in at number 2, but he only did 8 in 1989, and while a few others have done 7, WWE would need to tie the rocket to someone to even consider doing this. And you never say never in wrestling, because think of what we've seen over the years, but still, I would be stunned. And talking about stunned, did Stone Cold do it? No, he did not. I rest my case. Know of any other Royal Rumble records that probably won't be beaten? Make sure you let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Then head over to whatculture.com, where you can read articles like this with your entire being. Make sure you come follow us on social media, and ensure you go out there to watch more videos, because it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy in our tum-tums. My name is Simon for What Culture. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Make sure you get ready for the Royal Rumble. It comes but once a year, and I will talk to you again very, very soon.